Hello. Today I want to talk about my latest real interview. You know, actually, it's happened yesterday, and my interviewee is an Indian engineer, so we speak in English totally. We have this interview for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think it's a really challenge for me because actually I don't talk English for such a long time, but I think it's very interesting, so I want to share this experience with you. Yeah. The first part is introduction. You know, I have an introduction, and I said my name, and I introduce what I have done, and I said I have been working as a finance engineer for 8 years, and I focus on React ecosystem, and I used to work as a front-end engineer in a United States company based in Beijing. And then the interviewee asked me what React projects did I do, and I said maybe 8 or 10. And next several questions are related to React. He asked me what class component, function component, per function, and so on. Something maybe I'm not familiar. She asked me what's the difference between React 18 and React 19. Actually, I don't know that because we are writing our application based on React 16.13, so it's an old version for React. But I said we are using React 18, so I'm not familiar with React 19. I'm telling lies, yeah. And you know, after I have some spec, I found React 19. After some spec, I found React 19 have some improvements. For example, React 19 removed use rough and make rough as a purpose, so it's very convenient to do the rough handle. And React 19 also have a spot and introduce a new use hooks like use action state. It's also very convenient for us to do the action handler. After the interviewee asked me some React related questions, he gave me some challenges, and she required me to run a local React project by myself and I need to run the project from 0 to 1. I need to do it from the first step. Try exact npm installed weight, and I need to use weight as a broker plate to run a React application. And it's not a really complex application. I need to call a placeholder API and render a table, and the table will have two rows. The first row is user ID, and the second row is username. And it's not very hard for me, but maybe I'm a little nervous, and actually I'm not using that computer for a long time, so the computer is not convenient for me to run a new project. But luckily, I configured the VS Code several days ago, and I configured the VS Code built-in Copilot plugin. So the Copilot plugin saved me, because I can use the Copilot plugin to auto fill some code. That makes the code write more easier. But I actually don't write too much original HTML table, so I actually do not I actually forgot the tr tag and td tag, so I need to Google it. That's very embarrassing, but luckily I finally read the feature, and I rendered a table, and I can click a row and change the background. Is what he expected. And the second task is I need to flat an array. I know it's a very common interview test, but I'm a little nervous. But luckily Copilot saved me again. I can use the Copilot and autofill the flat logic. The interviewee asked me to explain the code, what Copilot autofilled, so I just mentioned it needed to use recursion to do it. When we need to know the index of an array. The index of an array, the value of an index of an array is an array or not. If it's an array, we should run the function again, so it will execute the recursion function. But it's not an array, it's a value so we can concact the value into the new array. So finally we can, after we literal the whole array, we can finally get the flattened array. I explained that as that. So after that, the interviewee gave me some JavaScript challenge. For example, he taught me I need to say some ex6 features, and I said light cast keywords and promise and arrow functions, and also, and he asked me, do you familiar with TypeScript or SAS-less CSS compiler? Actually, honestly, I used the SAS-less compiler in my real project, but recent months I use the styled component more often, so I actually forgot some details, so I just say the SAS-less compiler can use some variables to convert the SAS-less syntax to CSS. Yeah. After that question, the employee said the interview is finished, and she didn't require me to give him a question, and he just said bye bye. So I said bye bye, and the interview is end. I think the interview is end suddenly, and after that interview, I still recall the details, and that's why I make this radio. I think it's very interesting for me. And maybe I have another interview several days later, and maybe the questions will be very similar with this interview. I think I need some feedbacks and I need some improvement about my English speaking and my knowledge description and expression. Yeah, thank you. That's the radio, and I hope I can have a better performance in next interview, and I can find a good job. Yeah, bye bye.